Obviously, great challenge here with a team that's playing really well in Michigan. So great challenge for us here. They've obviously played really well last night at home against Purdue. As far as status updates, Michi and Gene will both be, game time decisions after practice today. So we'll know more about those guys here. But excited for a great challenge, a talented group that's well coached, that's got tremendous depth and talent across the board, and is playing as well as they've played all year for sure.
Since the Frederick game, we've gotten a lot of questions from fans about the offense in general and just the balance of when you have a lead or when you're in the game like that and trying to be aggressive but also maybe try to bleed clock and just how that changes as the game goes on. What do you see as the balance there when you're trying to salt away a lead in a game and you try to eat a little bit more of the clock than you would?
Yeah, we didn't do that. That's just not accurate. We had one possession that was a shot clock violation. The other one, we had a dunk attempt that was blocked. And we attacked their press and got two shots blocked. That's just not accurate. We weren't bleeding clock. We weren't trying to. That's just that was one possession. The other possessions, like I said, we had a dunk attempt that was blocked. That was drawn up specifically to get a breakaway. So, it's not accurate.
And when it comes to those blocks, you talked about playing with more force down the stretch and needing to play more force. Does that go hand in hand?
Their size is good. They're a good defensive team. Probably maybe we could have. I think EJ ended up kicking out the second one when he got the rebound after Zed got blocked and maybe his got blocked. I thought he made a good poised decision there. So. Give him credit. They had good length, and the block attempt on the dunk was a really good play by the kid.
And did you go over a little bit more the last minute or so? You had said after the game you weren't sure the final shot. What exactly, how that kind of went down, what you were looking for the last 3 seconds?
Yeah, we just we didn't execute the play.
Coach, that performance by Michigan last night against Purdue, was that kind of the version of Michigan that people thought we would see from the beginning of the season and all season? And then also, how much can one performance like that? How much does that change how you game plan when it's just one game, but it's the game that happened right before you're going to go in there?
Yeah, no, I think you look at them and they're certainly one of the I think probably they would say they're playing as well as they've played all year. What that kind of momentum can do for them. I think it is anyone's guess, but I'm sure Juwan is interested in anybody right now in terms of how his team's playing, and clearly they're playing well. I think all of us who watched them and saw some of their struggles here early on knew that they certainly have the potential to get it rolling, and they're gifted, they're talented. Juwan does a really good job. I think it's a really good team. There's a reason why they were top 5 or top 6 in the country in the preseason.
And what are your impressions of their two, freshman guys there in the starting lineup, and how do you, maybe look to exploit a front court that is as long as it is for them? With you guys have some more mobility, perhaps, on the inside there.
Yeah, no, they've got good length with Dickinson and Diabate. Really good length. They're freshmen. I think they have 3 5-star freshmen. One doesn't play as much, but he's a really talented player. He comes off the bench for him. The other two, I think Diabate's had his, really consistently good season. Obviously the big wing shooters has had some really big games for him too. They're talented players, for sure.
I think one of the things that we've talked about this season has been Zedke's consistency. And I'm curious, especially after kind of the trouble that he had against Rutgers. I mean, what was your message to him after that one, and kind of during this stretch where it seems like you guys have been kind of pressing him down low offensively a little bit more? What was kind of the message?
Yeah, I thought he did some good things. Collectively, bottom line is we've got to be better defensively, and we've got to find a way as coaches and players to be better and more consistent defensively. That's what has really gotten us in certain games. It has not been anything other than the fact that we've not been able to get stops when we've needed to, and you're going to have games where you're going to struggle, whether it's home or road, against good defenses, and we have to have a more consistent defense, and that's on all of us. And Zed's a big part of that. All of our guys that have played consistent minutes, and us as coaches, we got to find ways to be better on that end.
I mean, Hunter Dickinson provides length for Michigan, but he's kind of one of the more complete players, whether it's shooting threes or kind of just doing a little bit of everything. And I'm curious, when you have a guy in Zed kind of facing that down low, I mean, seeing the potential of all that he could do, I mean, what's kind of the plan there? What do you kind of say to him? I mean, you guys have seen him before, so what's the game plan?
Yeah, no, he just has to be aware of his size. I think our guards have to be aware of his size and his ability to block shots and play with length, and got to be smart in how we attack. And Zed has to as well. He has to get into his body and be physical and get deep positioning. That's when he's at his best anyway.
What has Joey Brunk brought to your program, maybe more than what we see on
maturity? Maturity's probably the thing that comes to mind first. He's a really good kid who's obviously been through a lot. But I've said this before, that whatever Joey does decide to do, and I know he just took some pretty important tests this morning, whatever he does decide to do, he's going to be really successful at it. I really believe that. I would be betting on Joey Brunk to have a really, really successful career. Just because I know who he is as a person, I know his work ethic, I know how he responds to hard things that come up in life, and he's a wonderful kid from a wonderful family, and he's going to be a tremendous success. If law is what he chooses to be, he's going to be really, really good at it.
Probably a pretty tall lawyer.
Yeah, he would be tall and imposing, for sure.
You've used him in some big moments, some of them forced with Zed and foul trouble and whatnot. How have you liked the on-court production? I know he's not played a ton of minutes, but he's given you some big ones. Yeah,
he's done a good job and played some important minutes for sure. And I think he's done a good job. I know, like any kid, he would love to play more and more consistent minutes, but he's been ready. His attitude's been great. He's got to help us on the defensive end when he's in there, both in post and ball screen defense, and that's been kind of one of the things we've been challenging him with, because he can really score in the low post.
Coach, what's the mood and vibe of the team been the last day and a half? I got to imagine that ate at them for probably the whole night, that loss.
It's Big Ten basketball. You know how it is. I mean, what's the mood of Purdue right now? You have to figure out a way to respond and challenge yourself to get better in practice the next day. And we're not the only good team that's went and lost at that place. It's frustrating. We've got to figure out some things we can do better as coaches and players, but it's back to work, as much as anything.
The last couple, Spence and Jacob over here.
Go ahead. Well, Chris, is there maybe any sense of heightened emphasis on this game, playing against Michigan, especially with how the football team played against them in the fall? Have you sensed that from any of your players, maybe even your coaching staff?
Well, I think anytime you're playing against a quality team and a rival, there's certainly going to be heightened, whatever you want to call it. I think we're well aware of the quality of team and quality of program that they've had for now, a decade and a half plus. I mean, I think you look at what John did there, and it was a phenomenal run of success, and it continues. So I think anytime you're playing a team against of that caliber, again, that's talented and well-coached. And it's the greatest respect you can give to a rivalry game is to try to prepare to be your very best.
And with a guy like Malachi, I believe he led your team in scoring last time out, and his last few performances on the road have been really efficient. Do you notice anything different in the way he goes about his preparation when you are on the road? Because he's played really well at Purdue, Rutgers, obviously, etc.
Yeah, no, I think he's learning, he's growing as a player. There's really no difference, but he continues to learn and grow and get better.
Chris, your last 5 games out, you guys have been a lot better at not turning the ball over. Do you credit that to just maturity and team growth, or what's behind that? Because it seems like the high turnover rate was almost going to be just something you guys had to battle through, and now you seem to be getting it under control.
Yeah, I think it's much as anything, it's a little bit, it's probably a little bit better understanding of what we're trying to do. That has been a significant area of improvement for us, for sure, and I give our guys credit. Now we have to, again, raise our level of defensive performance, and we got to take what we learned from a game like the other day. We've really finished and executed, late in games really well this year, with the exception of 2 that come to mind for me. So we got to take some of those lessons and learn from it, and continue to get better at taking care of the ball and grow our defense and finish better.
Okay, so just one more thing. I was thinking about this after the game, that not having Gene, how much could he have factored in on Gio? Just seemed like with his size and his length, he maybe could have provided a little bit more defensive presence than you were otherwise able to put on Gio.
Well, what it allows, I'm sure you guys have watched this enough to know we didn't play. We played a lineup that we played very few minutes. Really, not since the Xavier game have we played that lineup together, and we ended up playing at extended minutes. And I think it hurt our continuity a little bit offensively, because it was just unique. You had EJ basically playing the 3. Gene's length and versatility would have allowed us to play and maybe give some spot minutes, or play maybe Zed a little bit less, to maybe give a little bit more flow to our offense with a Gene, EJ, Kyle lineup. I think that would have really helped us in that situation. Those guys did a good job, and we felt like we needed to play that lineup because of their size on the perimeter. But it did, I think, impact our offensive flow, a little bit. So having Gene back gives us some ability to play more 5 out, as opposed to just, always having a 5-man kind of back to his basket 5-man. It allows us to play a little bit more 5 out, open the floor a little bit more. It's the way we played a lot last year when you had Seth and Justice, because you have bigger wings in the middle of your lineup. And when you have bigger wings in the middle of your lineup, that creates defensive versatility. It also allows you to play what we feel like we've got some versatility on the front line, but we're not as versatile on the front line, obviously, when you're playing Zed and Joey. So I think ultimately it affected our ability to attack offensively as well as we would like. We close the game, most games, not every game, but we've closed a lot of games with a bit of a smaller, more versatile lineup, and that's helped us offensively attack some mismatches. We did it at Purdue. Maybe the one game we didn't close it, that we closed really well, was Duke. We had Zed in there for most of that game, but ultimately, that having a guy in the middle of your lineup that has defensive versatility, that can switch and guard, then allows you to play offensively more versatile. So it would have helped.